I'm Briana, 23, standing in my nearly empty apartment in Portland, surrounded by boxes. I'm reminded of the long journey that brought me here. It all hit a boiling point on my college graduation day, a day that was supposed to be a celebration of my hard work, but instead turned into a turning point in my life. My family, on the surface, seemed like the perfect unit. My father, Henry, was a successful investment banker, and my mother, Victoria, was a well-known fashion designer. They lived in a grand mansion in the upscale suburbs of New York. My younger sister, Lily, who was 20, was the apple of their eye. She was charming, outgoing, and had a natural talent for making friends. I, on the other hand, was the studious one, always buried in books and focused on my studies. The favoritism started when we were kids. When I was 8 and Lily was 5, I won a painting competition at school. I was so excited to show my parents my prize, but they were too busy planning Lily's birthday party. They barely glanced at my painting and told me it was nice, then went back to discussing the party details. Meanwhile, they documented every moment of Lily's preschool plays and always made sure to be there for her. As we grew older, the gap between us only widened. In high school, I was part of the academic decathlon team. We worked hard and made it to the national finals. But my parents missed the event because Lily had a minor dance recital. When I brought home straight A's, my father would simply say, "That's expected of you, Briana." However, when Lily managed to get a few B's, they threw a big party to celebrate her improvement. On our 16th birthdays, the difference was even more glaring. For my birthday, I got a simple dinner at home and a few practical gifts like a new laptop for school. But for Lily, they rented a luxury yacht, invited all her friends, and gave her a designer watch and a promise of a new car when she got her license. When it came to college, I got into a top-tier university on a partial scholarship. I worked part-time at a local bookstore to make ends meet and maintained a 3.8 GPA. Lily, with lower grades and test scores, also got into the same university thanks to my parents' large donations. She lived in a fancy dorm and had a generous monthly allowance, while I struggled to pay for my textbooks. As my graduation approached, I was excited and nervous. I had secured a job interview at a prestigious marketing firm in Portland. But my old car, a hand-me-down from my uncle, was on its last legs. 3 weeks before graduation, I called my parents to talk about transportation. "Dad, I'm worried my car won't make it to graduation," I said, my voice filled with anxiety. "Can't you just take a taxi?" he replied, clearly distracted by something on his phone. My mother then chimed in, "By the way, Lily got elected as the president of her sorority. Isn't that wonderful?" I bit my lip and tried again, but they quickly ended the call. 2 days later, I went to my parents' house to pick up some old clothes. As I walked in, I overheard them talking in the living room. "Lily is going to love it," my father said. "A brand new BMW X5, just in time for Brianna's graduation. She can show it off." I stood there, frozen, my heart sinking. When they saw me, they tried to cover it up, but it was too late. I knew they were buying Lily a luxury car while I was struggling to get to my own graduation. The day before graduation, my mother called to tell me they were too busy with Lily's new car to drive me. "You can take the subway, Briana. It's convenient," she said nonchalantly. I was in shock. I couldn't believe they were making me take public transportation to my college graduation while they were spoiling Lily. On graduation day, I took the subway in my cap and gown. It was crowded, and people stared at me. I felt so humiliated. But then I met an old man on the subway. He saw my graduation attire and said, "Don't let others' actions define your worth. True value comes from within." His words struck a chord with me. When I arrived at the graduation ceremony, my family was late. They showed up in Lily's new BMW, making a grand entrance. During the ceremony, the guest speaker talked about intrinsic value and how society often measures worth by external factors. His words were like a wake-up call for me. When it was my turn to cross the stage, my family was busy taking pictures of Lily. But from the back of the auditorium, I heard a loud cheer. It was my grandmother, Clara, my mother's mother. She was a retired schoolteacher who always believed in me. She was there with some of my friends from the bookstore, holding a banner that said, "Congratulations, Briana. We see you." After the ceremony, my parents wanted me to take family photos next to Lily's BMW. I finally snapped. "No," I said firmly. "I won't be a part of this charade. For years, you've favored Lily over me." I graduated with honors while working part-time, and I got the subway. Lily gets a BMW for doing far less. My parents were shocked. They tried to defend themselves, but my grandmother stepped in. "You've been repeating the same pattern your own parents did, Victoria. It's time to see Briana for who she is." We had a long, emotional conversation. I showed them a box filled with mementos of all the times I was overlooked, like my high school diploma, my college acceptance letter, and the subway ticket from that day. They were speechless. In the end, Lily also surprised me. She said she felt bad about the way things had been and decided to donate the money for the BMW to a scholarship fund. My parents started to realize their mistakes and promised to treat us equally. A month after graduation, I got the job in Portland. As I stood in my new, small apartment, surrounded by boxes, I knew that this was a new beginning. The journey from being the overlooked daughter to finally standing up for myself was long and painful, but it was also liberating. I've learned that my worth is not determined by others' recognition, but by my own hard work and self-belief. I'm now starting a new chapter in my life, and I'm ready to face whatever comes my way, with or without my family's full support.